Hi there, it's Jenna from scribblinggrace.com. Today I'm going to do a mixed media page, which if you've been following me, you know this is not what I normally do. But I think it's important and it's fun to branch out of our comfort zones now and then. So I'm going to do something that's very different, but makes good use of a bunch of different techniques to try. So I am just preparing my page, not really preparing, but adding a base layer of a white acrylic paint on my page. I'm just brushing it all along there. I'm just using a cheap apple barrel paint that I got from Walmart. I'll put the links to all of the supplies that I used to make this page in the blog post that goes along with this video. And you can I'll put that link in the description below. Head on over there and you can get all the links to buy all these products. So I did my white paint and then I'm going to add some blue swipes. I didn't really have a plan for this page. I just kind of went where I felt like I should go. I end up adding some leaves and I did not think I was going to do that, but I ended up really liking that. So anyways, I am using blue tones because this page is still based off of the Wisdom Whispers Bible study, which I've talked about in a few other videos that I'm working through. I was a creative partner for the study, so I created a few different things, images and t-shirt designs, and the whole theme of the Bible study is or the whole color of the Bible study is this pretty light blue color. So I thought that I would just tie that in. It's a small thing that can make a good, meaningful difference to me. So I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. So I just added some swipes of my different paint colors, and I'm just drying that with my heat gun now. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some watercolor. So my first one was acrylic. Now I'm going to go to watercolor. Mixed media is just all about using different mediums to create your page. So if you have ever tried to watercolor on a gesso prepared page or on top of acrylic before, it does act differently than an unprepared Bible page is. So some people, like me, do not like to prep our page when we use watercolor just because it acts a little weird and it's harder to use. It just pools in certain places. You kind of have to end up going back over it multiple times. It's just a little bit harder to control the paint. And it also dries a little bit slower, which could be a good thing if that's the style you're going for, where you want to use some wet on wet techniques. But for the most part, for me, it's kind of frustrating to work with, but it does create a really cool texture underneath that watercolor. And if you want that effect of having a bunch of different pools, which could create some really cool character into your page, definitely think about prepping your page or either with gesso or acrylic paint like I did. So I just paint some leaves here. I did a post 2 weeks ago on watercolor leaves with a free printable that you guys could use if you are interested in learning how to make that leaf shape that I just did. I'm going to create another one up here. Now up on this top one, I go over the part of the page that was not prepared with that white paint. So it looks a little bit different if you really look closely at it. But I know, I'm not going to worry about that. But it is kind of interesting to see how the paint reacts to different mediums. So now I'm going to just take another watercolor and just blot it onto my page. I'm literally just going to blot my paintbrush onto the page with a bunch of different paints. So I'm purposely leaving it so that there are those spots that kind of pool, because I like that idea, what I was talking about earlier with the leaves. Having those little pools are sometimes a really cool effect to have. So now I'm going to go ahead and add some washi tape and stickers. So if you've been following me, you know I do not use this very often. Washi tape and stickers and stamps, those are foreign to me and kind of intimidating to me. And I think it's interesting because I get so many people say how they can't imagine doing watercolor in their art. And I am just, or how they're amazed by how I can do watercolor in my pages. And I'm always amazed by these people who can do these beautiful scrapbook style Bible pages. I think they're so pretty and gorgeous and something that's not my strong suit. So I just think it's cool how we all have our strengths and talents, even just within Bible journaling. So if something's intimidating to you, don't feel bad about that or get discouraged by that. I'm sure you have another strong suit that you could do. You know, you might not be a huge watercolor person, but you might be really great at adding stamps and stickers into your Bible in beautiful ways. So just keep that in mind. So I just took my washi tape and tore it into pieces and just adding it down there just to tie in with those horizontal lines that I did earlier with my paint. And now I'm going to add in these stickers that I found in my stash. They've been sitting in my drawer for so long and I'm finally using them. So I just pulled out the blue ones and just stick those in around my page. And next I'm going to use gelatos. So gelatos are raved about in the Bible journaling community. And I really am going to start pushing myself to explore them some more. But for now, I am just using them to highlight my verse that I'm focusing on. And I just basically just rub it on. They're kind of like crayons or pastels. And then I just use my finger to kind of blend it together. And I decided to use a yellow just to make it pop a little bit. And now I'm getting to my free printable. You guys, I did a free printable for this. You can have it. You can get to it on that blog post that I'll link below. It's pretty cool because you can print it out on sticker paper and print it out on sticker paper, cut it out, and stick it in your Bible. Or you can do what I'm doing here and trace it. I particularly love that feather. I'm going to save that for another day, but definitely head on over there and get that free printable. And so this goes along with that Bible study I mentioned, Wisdom Whispers. I've talked about it in my other videos as well lately. I was a creative partner for this Bible study that's coming out with Living by Design Ministries by Sarah Kuntz. And it's a free Bible study that goes over King Solomon's life and how he was a super wise man and he, was rich beyond means. He was a super successful king and then he still fell away from God at the end of his life. And so we just kind of go over that and what we can learn from him. So, after doing my lettering here, I am just using a gel pen just to add some little embellishments around my page, little crosses and little dots. And I'm going to use a white gel pen to highlight my words. So anyways, back to the study. It starts officially on April 2nd. I created free coloring pages that go along in the study. Every week there's a new free coloring page. So I will put the link to pre-sign up in the description below. It's super cool, super free, and definitely recommend it. So now I'm just going to add a little stamp. So I really am using all types of mediums, stamps, stickers, acrylics, watercolor, washi tape, markers. So anyways, just use a date stamp and a dye ink, which I usually actually do not recommend. I usually recommend a pigment ink, but dye ink was all I had on hand. Add a little washi tape to finish the page off, and that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Be sure to head on over to that blog post and get that free printable. And be sure to subscribe to my channel if you aren't already and like this video. Give it a thumbs up. Thanks so much. God bless.